Okay, so there's the power line, there's the cluster. It's not on the tree, it's above the tree. That entire tree is just them. It only looks green because they can make themselves look any color, and like anything, they shape shift. The entire tree is them, and you can see that it's right next to the power lines, and you can see that active cluster. And what that cluster is doing is propelling orbs that are teleporting down that power line, because they use them like a highway, every power line. And you can see it in operation right now. So the entire cluster turns like a wheel counterclockwise, and the orbs enter it and leave on the other side. They get shot out. They can get shot out, you know, just to the left of it or in any direction, because the way the cluster spins, it spins 360 by 360 by 360 at a very high rate, because the orbs inside the cluster are spinning all different directions. And that's the reason why it glows and it's very active. So basically speaking, the cluster can shoot the orbs anywhere it wants to, and what it does is it shoots them where it needs them, and it can shoot them out a long distance away from that area. It can shoot them on the other side of the city or even farther than that. So they have two types of teleportation. They have normal teleportation, where you see them here and then there and, you know, somewhere else, and you don't see how they got there. Or they have local teleportation, where you can actually film it with a camera, or parts of it with a camera, where they travel. You can see them traveling at a very fast speed, but nonetheless traveling. You see that one fly by? That's no seagull. There's another orb cluster, and they're all over the place. And like I said, I see them without a camera. I didn't have a camera when I first saw them. I went and bought all these cameras just because I was seeing them all over. Otherwise, I would have never even owned the camera. It's an expensive proposition because they blew up 2 of them already. They're very good at destroying electronic devices or equipment. They can control computers, cameras, anything, and they can even blow them up if they want to. So maybe they gave up on me because I went and bought even more cameras, and it takes too much energy to blow them all up. So now I get to film, but they make a fog, so I can't see anything. It's sort of a working deal, I guess. I don't like it very much, but I have no choice. I can only film where I can. And there it is, a cluster in operation. That may look small, but it's not that small, because you can only see the pinpoint where the nucleus is. That's the most active. In reality, that cluster, I'll show you how big that is. That cluster is where the lake is, and that entire area between the other side where the buildings are to the electrical wires and past them toward me, and up higher and lower to the ground. That's the size of that cluster, but only the nucleus will glow, the very nucleus. But the entire air mass filled with orbs around that cluster is moving counterclockwise at such a high velocity that they create a fog, because there's so many of them, but they move too fast to see. And that's the way it works. Whenever the cluster vanishes, that means it's slowed down. The frequency and the revolutions frequency has slowed down. And then when it picks up, it glows even more. So I'm just gonna You'll see orbs going down the power line. They have it in a good spot. You can see that it's working very hard, that nucleus, and that's where all the action is. And they churn and churn all those orbs and power them up. And what they're doing is sucking electricity or electromagnetic field energy from the wires. They do both very well. And then they use that energy to propel the orbs. And you can see the wire glowing. That means it's under strain. Okay, the electrical cable there, the power line, you can see a glow on it. And that means it's really at its maximum. And they're drawing electricity from the power plant through the electrical cables or power lines for their own use. And you can see the cables are glowing. They're under such high stress. There's so much current that's being drawn out. Okay, and this is not what the wires were made for. And it's very dangerous what they're doing. This could start fires and everything. And if that line goes, it's going to hit homes in the bottom and everything else, and just set a lot of places on fire. Because if they put too much tension in that cable, power cable, it's going to snap. Or have a burnout. It'll burn out in one spot, and then it'll just shoot off because it's at high tension, and whatever it touches, it's going to be burnt to a crisp or electrocuted. Okay, so I think you've seen that orb enough. Sorry, the orb cluster enough. Now, there's more all along here. They're on the bottom of the cable. Okay, so I'll show these because they show up more. Okay, so those clusters are doing the same job as that one on top of the power cable. They do exactly the same thing. There's just more of them. So they have it all set up, and they change the setup. And the setup isn't the same every day. They change it around to how they need it, and then that's basically how it works. All those things that look like seagulls, they're orbs. And there's not one seagull there. They're all orbs, and they're holographic images of seagulls. If you see a very fast black thing go by, that's a large insect. There's one right there. Those are very large black insects. There's lots of them too. Alright. I'm pretty sure that's what these things are. They're insectoid type alien entities, and they're from a different dimension than ours, and they're also not from Earth. So they're all kinds of things. They're extraterrestrial as well as interdimensional. And they've come a long way to be here, and they didn't come for fun. They saw a good place to get food, resources, all kinds of things they need, and they're going to just take it. And they're propagating on this planet. They're breeding more and more of themselves. And when they feel like they have enough numbers, they're just going to not hide anymore. They're not going to be hiding forever. And they're going to show themselves and do what they want to do. Take whatever they want. Okay, that's what that looks like. There's the orb on the left. On top, and a bunch of clusters on the bottom in the center. Okay. So I'm going to turn this off and make another video.